Hello, hello. I'm Tracy Pierce. Thanks for joining me for these free mini animal communication sessions. Looks like there's still some people logging on. I see Nina. Hi, Nina. Thanks for joining us today. Anybody joining us live? I do have the chat box open, so if you have any questions for our animal friend we're talking to today, feel free to type that into the chat box. So today we're going to talk to my doggy friend Leo. Leo is the dog of a friend of mine, and I've talked to him a few times before. I haven't talked to him very recently, so this will be interesting. Let's see, I'm going to go ahead and share Leo's picture up here on the screen. There we go. There's Leo. I think Leo he's still pretty young, like he's between like 2 and 4, I think. So I'm going to just go ahead and get quiet and start tuning into Leo and see what he wants to tell us today. Leo's got this real sort of spark in him. He's showing himself like running. There's one time I went on a hike with Leo and oh my gosh, he just was running. He must have run like 2 or 3 times as far as we did. There's this real sparkliness to Leo. Yeah, it's kind of like the picture where it's like it's just sometimes it feels like Leo is always smiling. Yeah, I feel his heart get really big too. It's sort of this spark of recognition, I guess, of me. He's like, oh, hey, Tracy, how are you? I haven't seen you for a while. How's it going? Well, Leo, it's fantastic to connect with you again. I know it's been a while. Is there anything that you would like to share with our viewers, with people in the world, about anything? What would you like to tell us today, Leo? Well, he's saying he really understands how it's almost like cabin fevery people are getting with this lockdown. It's like, if I had to stay inside all day, that would be terrible. I need to be outside and active. And he feels like the lockdown measures that have been happening in different places affect people like him, those that are like super active and really want to be outside all the time. He feels like it's affecting them in a different way. He's kind of funny. He's kind of pointing at me. He's like, Tracy, you're an introvert, so you got this. But, I'm concerned about the other people. And he seems to kind of be specifically showing like sports activities, hiking, running, snowboarding. He's saying those activities are really, really important for people. Say more about that, please, would you, Leo? I'm not saying that exercise is bad, but like some people do use exercise as a way to divert themselves from really feeling their feelings. And he's like, maybe that's not necessarily a bad thing for some people. At least they're getting exercise and trying to move all that excess energy out of their systems. Like, I'm concerned for people like that who have to stay inside all the time. It's almost like he's showing a runner on a trail, and there's like this excess kind of maybe anger or heavier, more uncomfortable maybe kind of feelings that we don't want to deal with necessarily. He's showing on this runner, like when the runner runs, these feelings just kind of pull off because of the way they're physically extending themselves. And he's showing like this same person sitting in a living room, and it's almost like their ball of energy around them. There's these little patches of agitation all around that. He's like, when they aren't able to exercise, it just kind of builds up in their energy. Yeah. Do you have any advice for those people, Leo? Just kind of peeking over here at the chat box. Looks like got another person log on. So if you have questions for Leo, go ahead and type them into the chat box. So yeah, Leo, do you have any advice for these people? Keep exercising. Okay. Yeah, he's showing, like some people might have to change up what they're doing. Like they might not be able to run with their dog or go as far. And um, yeah, he's showing some concern about, like right now we're still allowed to go outside and do these things, but he's also aware that there, the authorities are somewhat considering like, wow, do we need to close down some of the parks? Some of the, national parks have closed down, and he's really, this is a challenge for people to kind of make a change in how they are doing their exercise routines. He's like, okay, maybe you need to be doing, instead of running your trails like you used to find some kind of workout video that you can do inside. It's like, it's really important for people to keep moving physically, keep exercising. What else would you like to tell us about, Leo? Like, how are things going for you up there? Yeah, we've still been able to get outside and do things, and things are good for me. Leo lives up in the mountains a bit, so he lives in a smaller population area. How do you feel like this pandemic is affecting where you live, Leo? Says, well, people are more scared because there aren't as many hospitals and doctors up here where I live, so they feel like they really have to protect themselves. And where Leo lives is much higher elevation, and so he's showing me lungs. It's like people are more concerned, like our lung power is different here in the mountains. He says he can feel that people are really aware that um, something could be happening, or something like if they get sick, that it could be a really big deal. He does feel like people are trying to stay away from each other, and take this social distancing thing somewhat seriously where he lives. He does feel like it's partially to do because where he lives is more remote. Okay, I see a question kind of pop up here. So Nina would like to know, Leo, do you ever get sad? So sure, we all get sad sometimes. Is there something specific that you get sad about sometimes, or says, well, sometimes it's more like when I resonate with the people that I live with, like if they feel sad, sometimes I feel sad. Is there anything else that you feel sad about? Okay, Leo. So he's showing me, he's like, sometimes I wish I could just run and run and run and run and run and run and run. And I don't always get to do that as much as I would like to. Is that really something you feel sad about? Or, well, sometimes, like my legs were meant for running. He says, I just see him running really, really fast. It's like, but I get it, you know, like there aren't big enough places for me all the time to run and run and run like I want. There's some desire for him to go to, like, it feels like a bigger dog park. Yeah, it's almost like sometimes the places where he goes, he's like, I wish I could run just a little bit more. Is there something that your favorite human could do to help you with that, Leo? Well, he's like, well, she does as good as she can. She does as well as she can with the resources that she has. It'd be awesome if there was like a bigger dog park. He just shows like this really big enclosed area. I don't think that's something she could build for you or anything. He's like, I know. What does running do for you, Leo? It feels like there's something that happens in your body from it. He said it feels like an integral part of who he is. There's something in the movement, the fastness. Yeah, the running is so integral to who he is as a being. Is it something similar like what you were talking with the people who exercise, like the movement helps stuff move out of your own energy, Leo? Is it similar for you? Well, he's saying it's similar but different. He's like, dogs, we don't really hold on to stuff in the same way that humans do. Like something can come and kind of hit a human that will really knock them off. Whereas, like for a dog, we just kind of shake it off. Like he's showing himself shaking, and like the emotions just kind of fall off. Yeah, the running, it's more about like, I'm a really physically present, grounded kind of dog, and the movement really helps me to feel in my own body and to feel the aliveness of my body to remind me of that. All right, so we got a question, Leo, from Nina. So she wants to know, how can she shake things off too? Yeah, he's showing that it's not an unconscious, like just, oh, I need to shake this out. It's more really feeling, like noticing in your body where something hits you. Like, oh, somebody says this harsh thing and maybe it hits you like here, sort of close to your heart or something. Me saying it's not good enough to just like do a willy-nilly kind of shaking thing, like to really kind of tune into that place where the emotion is hitting you, and to feel like, okay, how does this emotion want to move out of my body? Like what he's kind of showing me is like, I feel this shaking kind of starting in my shoulder and moving all the way through my arm. So it's more of like a conscious way of uh, moving that energy out of the body rather than just doing a full body shake or something. Like tuning in. Yeah, and it's like being aware, almost feeling that energy, how asking that energy, how does this want to move out of me? Yeah, we as humans, he's saying, like, really want to try to force things to happen a lot of times. And he's like, in this particular case, that's really not going to do you any good. Like, if you just do this full body kind of shake, like, you might feel better for a moment, but that place where it got hit is still going to be there. So there's a way of like consciously bringing the movement in and out, and just looking at how the energy wants to move itself. Cool. Thanks, Leo. That's helpful. Nina, Leo is also saying that you need to dance more. Nina says yes to that. Yeah, and Leo says in that kind of movement, you can be just kind of weird and whatever, but like to kind of tune in and feel how your body wants to move, and that can be part of it. Like, yeah, more music, more dancing, and yeah, he's really encouraging us to bring this level of conscious movement into what we're doing, and that will be more effective in helping like stuck energies, or when we're having a bad day, feeling the negative energy, to help move that through. All right, so Jody's asking, does that shaking off of the energy keep him healthier? Oh, absolutely. And it will keep all of you healthier too. Okay, Jody, he's showing me like kind of doing this jumping up, and it's almost like he's kind of dancing with you thing. He wants to do more of that. He says the two of you can dance together. It will be a fun thing. He's showing like holding a little treat or something and showing, okay, Leo, let's dance, and doing a little dancing thing together. It could be a fun thing for us, he says. Oh, Leo, I always love talking to you. All right, Jody's saying she's going to take you up on that, Leo. So you have to let me know how much fun that is. All right, Leo, I'm trying to keep these, our little conversations to about 20 minutes or less, and we're kind of coming up on our time. Is there anything else you want to share with our viewers about you, about what's going on in the world today? Just whatever you might like to share with us. Since this is during this pandemic, these lockdown times, it is a time for our animal friends to really shine and do a lot more work with the humans than perhaps we had in the past. Wow, it's almost like we've got you in our cage with us kind of thing. Like he's showing how, you know, we as animals, a lot of times we're confined to just the home or the home in the yard, or us lucky dogs might get to go for a walk in the neighborhood or even on a road trip or something. But, you know, he's showing like it's a way that even humans can kind of understand how pets might feel, the ones that are more confined. And, you know, he's showing how, okay, so some pets stay in cages, but if you think about a house, in some ways it is just a bigger cage. And so it's one of the things he's saying that humans can think about during this time of containment. Wow, how does my dog or how does my cat feel just being totally contained in this space all the time? And to understand a little bit better what their point of view might be. And it also is an opportunity, he says, he's showing how like humans generally, our energy is kind of like out and blah 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 blah. Like we always need to be doing something, connecting with something, or you know, there's this do kind of mentality. And he's showing like once people are contained and they have to be more within boundaries, like their energy changes a little bit, and it gives them a way to kind of look at things in a different way. It's like, I'm not saying you guys should stay contained all the time. Like, obviously this is going to end at some point, but he does say there is an opportunity here for people to take a different perspective on things. And that's one of the things he's pretty excited about with this pandemic, is there's a possibility for people to shift their awareness. If they don't get too caught in the panic or the stockpiling or plugged into the news, like there's this way that people can kind of shift and come back to a deeper understanding. Thank you, Leo. Nina's saying how much she loves you, Leo. So anything else you want to tell us, Leo? That's good for now. Okay. Thank you so much, Leo, for speaking with us today. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing the picture here. All right, so thanks again for joining me today. Again, I'm going to be doing these free little mini animal communications for the foreseeable future. So if you'd like a reading with your pet, go ahead and send me a message and we'll see if we can't get you in the schedule. So thanks again for joining us, and until next time, take care and be well.